stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most are off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beach dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need pre-wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
So in the spirit of October last week, we escaped to Witch Mountain thinking it would be, about witches, like Halloween. It was not. So this week we watched what I thought would be a regular movie, and this is the one that turns out to be like a horror flick. She's been a rocky October, folks, but let's go. Let's press play on the 3 lives of Thomasina. As you know, because I say it every single time, but I swear it's the truth, I dread these old-timey live Disney movies every single time, and every single time they somehow win me over, and this particular one looks extra random, so I'm extra in. Let's press play. Ad for Tom and Huck, which is legit the other movie we almost watched tonight. Spooky. Ad for Heidi. Awesome movie, exactly what I'm talking about. These old lively ones hitting it out of the park. Feature presentation, we start with a mouse hole. From the mouse's perspective, we see an orange tabby cat staring into it. We have an original song about this cat, and it's pretty epic. It builds to Thomasina, and that's the chorus, but not the melody, because I'm tone deaf. We get the Mario Paint 3 Lives of Thomasina title graphic, nice montage of the cat doing cat things while the lady sings, "There are beasties in the garden who would never ever get your pardon." That's a dark lyric. Also sounds like she's singing about her lady business. This song breaks into a calliope solo, and right out of the gates, this movie is awesome. Oh, Thomasina has a voice actor. Oh no, this is gonna be one of those chatty tabbies, isn't it? Gordon Stone edited this, keep that in mind. Another verse and chorus and more calliope. We start as the cat chants, "Yes, I am Thomasina, and this story is about me." We meet the family that adopted her, and, quote, "They called me Thomas until they got to know me better." So they thought the cat was a dude until they got to know her better. That sounds grossly intimate. Okay, the cat says the McDewey family is successful, but it's all thanks to her, the cat. But first, she had to be murdered. We go into a kiddie flashback at Scotland, 1900s, and we meet Mr. McDewey. His wife died, and now the housekeeper and his daughter live with him. The cat doesn't like to be fussed over and treated like a doll by daughter Mary McDewey. Well, you can't say no animals were harmed during the shooting of this movie. We meet Thomas and Bruce, the blind man, and his dog. We are crazy right out of the gates today with this one. The dog is staring at the poor cat in a baby bonnet. An old-timey car almost runs over this kid, and I swear to God, the kid actor didn't know it was coming, because his reaction is like legit better than any child actor from this era could ever pull off. Georgie has a shoebox with an animal inside. It's got a broken neck or something. Mary says, "My dad, the vet, can fix it." So Georgie goes inside the veterinarian's office to ask. A couple old men argue in Scottish, but that's not Mr. McDewey. One claims, "Mr. McDewey is a vet and a good man." Terrible. He wants to put this old lady's dog down inside the vet because it's in pain. She is very old, and she's like, "Sir, he's all I have left." And he's like, "It's yourself you're pitying, and your dog is suffering because of you." And she's like, "Very well." This guy has just destroyed her, and then he puts her dog down. She barely says goodbye. Maybe he's not that great of a man. Jeez, slow down, 3 Lives of Thomasina. She comes out and tells everyone in the waiting room that he said the dog should be put down. Outrage ensues. Get a second opinion, they say. Georgie found, a dove, and its leg is broken. They ask for help, and McDewey's like, "No, get out! Only God can help him now." Okay, it's not a dove in a box, it's a frog, man. Look, people, I'm listening to thick Scottish accents on a VHS analog tape through crappy, 1994 TV speakers, okay? Most of this is pops and whistles. Georgie's friends tell him to take the frog up the hill to the witch. And they all go, "We got ourselves a movie, hell yeah! Broken frogs and witches and vets. This is all I want. This is all I ever wanted." A bunch of animals run by and one kid asks, "Do you think they're telling on us?" Like the animals answer to the witch? What a question. They figure the animals are snitches to the witches, which is what this movie should have been called. They spot the witch, and she's just singing to herself. Georgie puts the frog box under the witch's bell, or and rings it. It's a giant bell. And we see the witch close up, and she's... She knows the gig and she sees the kids and starts talking about Eye of Newt and scares them off. Back at the vets, a man tells Dr. McDewey that he needs to be nicer to the animal's owners, and he will do nothing of the sort. The friends tell him that when something you love dies, something dies in you as well. And he says, "You think you have to tell me? My wife is dead." So I guess that's every pet owner's problem now. The old guy tells the doctor, "But you're not alone. You have your daughter, Mary, that you ignore." The boys run into Mary and tell her about the witch. These boy-kid actors are actually really good as they argue about who was the brave one that went up there and gave it to the witch. This is good stuff. Mary tells her dad, "You wouldn't fix the frog, so they took it to the witch." And he's like, "Shut up, kid, I have adult things to do." At supper, Mary is telling her dad and the maid about the witch and the frog, and the dad is mad. She keeps feeding Thomasina at the table. The maid is like, "That's no witch. She's just a weird old woman who has a way with animals." Lady, that is the actual definition of a witch, okay? McDewey puts the cat outside for the night, and Thomasina talks cocky trash about how she can get back inside through the window anytime she wants, but tonight is Wednesday. That's Thomasina's night. So she heads out to the market. I love this movie. Thomasina goes to the market and steals a bunch of fish, and sure, it's cute when a cat does it. Back at breakfast, Mary can't find Thomasina the next morning. The dad is like, "It always comes back. Even if it's gone all night, it'll always come back eventually." And I feel like the dad here is subtly laying some groundwork. Mary starts like freaking me the out as she's pouring cream but looking straight ahead. Maybe Thomasina is out getting an exorcist for this one. The kids finally take to the market looking for Thomasina. A cat meows and knocks over some guy carrying a giant stack of goods, and that's probably a month's wages just gone. They find Bryce, the blind guy's dog, and it's been run over by a car. The blind man is hysterical. "Is my dog okay? Is my dog okay?" McDewey, the vet, weighs his options and decides to delicately break the news to the blind guy in the most compassionate way and says, "He's been good crushed," again with a bedside manner. The vet doesn't know if the dog's gonna make it. The kids burst into the vet's office and are like, "Ignore the crushed dog. Thomasina is also really sick." We get a full screen butt shot, and you realize the cat has tetanus. I'm pretty sure I meant to type tetanus. And McDewey tells his assistant to get the cat out of here, because it's as good as dead. "But you promised the kids." Bah! Well, McDewey saves the blind guy's dog, and he's like, "God bless you, McDewey. I don't care what everyone says about you. I think you're a good man." Awesome. Mary keeps freaking me out. McDewey comes in the front door, and she's like, "Is the cat okay?" And he's like, "Well, she's not in any pain." He takes like 3 runs at it before she finally realizes her cat is dead. "You promised you would make her better. You promised, and you killed her." Take that, McDewey. She runs away sobbing, and he says to the maid, "I didn't think she would take it that hard. We can get another cat, can't we? Can't we? I'll buy her everything she wants. Why did she take it so hard?" The maid is like, "You're a monster, McDewey." The boys are trying to cheer Mary up. "I have a box that is perfect for a cat casket," one says. Why do you have a box perfect for a cat casket? They want to have a cat funeral. These kid actors, again, are really good in this movie. Back to dead Thomasina. She's all tipsy and drunk, and she's reincarnated, and this footage of her falling through nothing was totally shot with someone just chucking a cat in the air. We go to this trippy horror place as she goes to cat heaven, and there's a bunch of ghost cats, and good lord. Is everyone else seeing this, or is it just me? You're all seeing this, right? This is happening in Disney. Okay. The cat wakes up and she's, quote, "There's, quote, flowers everywhere touching her." And I've been there, as the guy next door's nickname is Flowers. Shut up, that was an appropriate joke for this platform. Thomasina is awake, and they're in the middle of the cat funeral. The locals are like, "I heard Mary's dad chose not to save his own daughter's pet." Suck it, McDewey. The kids are putting on an actual pet funeral with readings and a grave and a procession, and everyone is in black. This is pretty awesome. I am, again, loving this movie. Hot Witch crashes the funeral, and they all run away. She reaches in the box and finds out the cat is still alive. What? The dad is like, "Let's go get a new cat," and Mary ignores him. This guy is such a No, 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 come. If McDewey ends up with Hot Witch, I'm gonna chuck this movie so far over my lawn. Anyway, Dad asks about a new cat. Mary ignores her dad, and the maid says, "Answer your father," and Mary says, "My dad is dead." Oh, Dad just sucks. He has no idea. He says one sweet thing, and when Mary doesn't react, he loses his temper every single time. One of the boys' dads or grandpas is just going off on McDewey. He's like dropping M&M bars. "McDewey's a quack, his science is whack." Oh, and he's a murderer too. The kids are forming an anti-Dewey gang. They stand outside his office and intercept and warn all people bringing their pets to McDewey that he'll just kill it. They keep up the rumors and tell anyone who will listen that McDewey is the devil, and I mean, they're not wrong. McDewey is complaining to his friend about his grumpy daughter, and his friend is like, "Well, Mary has no mom and now her cat is dead, so she has no one that loves her." And McDewey goes, "She has me!" And then they blink at each other, and time stands still. God, I hope this movie ends like the end of Wicker Man with the townspeople dragging McDewey out and, you know, putting the bees on his head or whatever. The dad's friend talks to Mary and does the "your cat's not really dead if you remember her" bull you tell kids when their pets die. She tells this guy that she killed her dad. She's running with this idea. She's like, "I killed him and buried him." Yeah, this child is not okay. This is a weird side plot. The rumors are starting to catch up with McDewey, though, and affecting his practice. The cat accepts that this is her second life, and she's now living with Hot Witch. The boys find a badger in a bear trap, and they don't want to take it to McDewey because he's just going to murder it. So they put it in a sack, and they take it up to Hot Witch. The cat watches from a tree and doesn't know the term deja vu, but thinks it knows the boys from a former life. So this is the thing now. They all take their dead and dying animals to Hot Witch. Out of nowhere, McDewey storms out of the bushes and is like, "Put that badger down! It'll rip your throat out," all dramatic. And Hot Witch is like, "No, it won't. Animals like me." He storms inside her little cabin in the woods, and they argue about the badger. And she's like, "Well, okay, how about you just do your job then?" And he's like, "No, it's too far gone." And she's like, "You can do it." And now with like 1, maybe 2% chance he can impress this girl and possibly have sex with her, he does a 180 and decides to help the badger. Wow, this guy is the biggest villain I have ever seen in a Disney movie. Scar, Hook, Jafar, they had way more personal gain for the things they did other than sex. But here's McDewey, just a human being, only motivated to do good by his little Dewey. Yeah, he comes back and he's all flirty with her and he's trying to turn on the charm. So yeah, his own kid's cat could just die, but he's gonna save this wild badger because Hot Witch asked him to. Just wow. She gives him her shawl because he won't accept payment from her. Now I'm getting angry at this movie. Also, this is like Pet Sematary. A little, not a lot, but a little. I wish it were more like Pet Sematary. McDewey would just toddle out into the road in front of a semi. The boys sneak inside Hot Witch's house and they see that the badger's not dead. Yeah, as I said, like all great veterinarians, McDewey does great work when he's motivated by sex. Hot Witch sees one of the boys and invites him in to see her animals. "I'm not a witch." Now she's pumping McDewey's tires and telling the boy that, well, McDewey is also magic because the frog is healed. The badger is getting better. The boy walks out and reports that she's put a spell on McDewey and now he's nice. And you know, that's supposed to be a cute kid's perspective moment, but she put a spell on him. That is wonderfully accurate. She has something McDewey wants. Back home, McDewey is stoking the fire, but not the fire he wants to stoke. McDewey's friend, I have no idea who this guy is. This is like his coworker, his best friend. But he's like, "Don't you want to get married again?" And he's like, "No, I just want to fill her cauldron." There it is. Try to keep up, okay? And that was earned. Yep, he keeps coming on to her and to tend the badger. He's gonna end up with Hot Witch, isn't he? He keeps stopping by. He tells her that she has a way of taking the fear out of animals, and now that is some hot flirting. Then he starts talking about his dead wife, the 1-2 pickup of McDewey. Like I said, the seasoned pickup artist. She tells him she watched both of her own parents drown. And you could just cut the sexual tension with a knife in here in this shack. Oh, and her real name is Lori. The cat is back, and it's on another journey. This is an epic journey, judging by the music playing. It remembers the way back to Mary's window. The ghost cat is at her window. Mary chases zombie cat out into the storm. Dad comes out as well. The girl is chasing the cat down the street in the rain. Dad is chasing Mary, and now Mary is laying on the ground. Okay, she's in shock and she has pneumonia. The old man tells McDewey to pray for God's mercy. It's the stubborn pride inside him that has caused his life to go to crap. Cat returns to Hot Witch Laurie and she violently dries her. Like, she screams and starts wildly scrubbing the cat as the cat stares into the camera with dead eyes. The circus is coming, and I don't know why. This town already has a clown. The circus is here and it's abusing the animals. The boys don't like this. They run to the police and they tell them that the circus folk are beating their animals. Quote, they are horrible people. The people say they need an official complaint for Mr. McDewey. I guess they plead their case to McDewey. The gypsies are mean to the animals. Oh, okay, if he examines the animals and the circus animals and he can report the cruelty, McDewey's like, oh, now I'm a good vet, and you want my help? Boys are like, okay, let's go tell Hot Witch instead. She could put a spell on the gypsies. Again, these kids are great actors. They're stealing every scene. One of the boys talks to the witch and she's like, McDewey wouldn't do anything about it? She knows she can get him to do something about it. She can get him to do anything at this point. This is barely a unbutton the top 2 buttons job for her to get McDewey to do it. McDewey goes to see Laurie, but she's already on her way to the circus. Yep, the witch's name is Laurie. And I don't know why that's funny, but that's kind of funny. Nothing like a witch named Laurie. Laurie is sneaking around at Targoo's circus. The boys are just there in the front row watching the show. I guess it's fine. The gypsies bust Laurie looking at the animals, and they drag her out and circle her. The gypsies, they surround her and they crack the whip and they tell her, well, if she won't let them use the animals for entertainment, then she will have to dance and perform for the crowd. Don't like the implications of that. McDewey jumps in and starts just throwing hands. A full-out brawl breaks out between the townspeople and the circus gypsies, and this is a Donnybrook. This movie is so good. McDewey won me over here. He just does not give a He is swinging at anything that moves. A lantern is knocked over and starts a fire, and the police come and the gypsies get arrested for cruelty to animals. Once everyone is safe, McDewey asks Laurie to come to the house. And she's like, why? And he's like, because my daughter is sick and because you have a way with healing animals, so maybe you can help my sick daughter who is in a pneumonia coma and might not live through the night. And also my bedroom is there. She asks McDewey if she could take Mary. She picks Mary up and the lightning strikes. Okay, so is Laurie actually a witch? I'm so confused. I've been joking about it, but until now I wasn't sure. This reminds Thomasina of who she was or is, that she has to go home. She runs into the room and meows, and Mary sits right up like the Undertaker. Thomasina! Laurie's like, my Thomasina? Your Thomasina? That's your dead cat that's been living here, Hot Witch. Laurie says, only you can fix this, McDewey. You need to bring the cat back by yourself, and that will fix Mary. What is happening? The cat starts a sermon about how this guy was my killer, and now he needs my help, but she didn't want revenge. She wants to come home, thanks to the love from Laurie. The cat jumps inside the house, and McDewey presents the cat to Mary. He says, no, it's not a ghost. And Mary's like, I didn't think it was a ghost until you said it. And McDewey marries Hot Witch Laurie, and this began Thomasina's third life with all three of them together. Now, you know what? McDewey turned out to be a bad. Because as I always say, any narcissistic veterinarian brave enough to knock out gypsies can marry a hot witch any day.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance that he has. Thank you.